Apocalyptic language is commonly used to speak about coming moral judgment in which the righteous will endure and inherit a new heaven and a new earth. It was their version of these end-of-the-world horror movies that are so popular right now, you know? While some take all this literally, and God knows, environmental disasters and climate change make me wonder if it shouldn't be, nonetheless, we should at least ask, what is the spiritual meaning inside all of this? The main message, I think, is that God is coming to fulfill God's promises of bringing justice and peace. Justice first, then peace. The Reverend William Barber is an African-American minister who leads the Poor People's Campaign in the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. He said recently that he believes God is at work to bring a moral revolution to the world, by means of which the world will be changed. But, he says, that will come by a cut of the knife, not literally, but figuratively. There has to be division for healing, he says, citing Jesus when he said that to be his follower will cause division. Division between son and father, daughter and mother, bride and mother-in-law. Sounds like many a family Thanksgiving table, don't you know? Peace will not come by patting each other on the back and being nice in the face of wrong. It won't come from being less passionate about important things and just trying to get along as moderates. We shouldn't even seek a return to normal, whether after COVID or after this cultural and political time of upheaval. There is no part of Scripture, Barber says, that ever speaks to a peace that is with the absence of justice. Even in the Hebrew language, shalom is peace. But shalom is not just the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. And Jesus never discussed some way of people being okay spiritually, but still broken physically. 2 Peter counsels us to holy living and patient waiting upon the Lord's coming. That doesn't mean we retreat and wait for Jesus to show up and deliver us in the second coming. It means we actively wait by being living witnesses to the new creation God is bringing to pass. Holy living requires patience and self-discipline. Some of us become impatient and undisciplined with tragic results. One of the saddest stories we heard this week was a Michigan couple in their mid-70s who died together after being married for 47 years in a hospital room 1 minute apart from each other. She had been a nurse in that very hospital, and they had been so vigilant for so many months, staying home, wearing their masks, keeping distance, doing all the right things during the pandemic. But they got tired of waiting, and they decided they wanted to go out and eat at a restaurant. They did, and many of the patrons were there without masks. They both contracted the coronavirus, and this past week, their children buried them prematurely. the lesson is not just about COVID precautions. It's a spiritual parable for Christians to hold on to our faith and not give up in the face of a world that is falling apart. We must stay vigilant. Holiness and patience combine to overcome fear with hope.